Right, this is Saturday morning, no rest for the wicked here. Now, yesterday we had great success doing this daytime running light. I was really over the moon with that. Why? Because I've never seen one work yet. The principal thing is, what I wanted to mention in this video was this little relay here. This is a PRC 8714. And as you can see here, it's a very special piece of kit. It's all potted. It's not just a relay. But have a guess how much it is. £187. They must be joking. But the thing is, this is a spare. Now, I'm going to take this golden opportunity of testing this one to make sure it works, because we know it works on this car. And then we're in the money. Now the thing is, the moral of this part of the video is, don't throw anything away yet. I took the relay off the red Discovery, and a lot of people have been asking me for bits and pieces off it, but I'm not taking anything, I'm not selling anything until this passes inspection. Alright, that's the idea, because there's lots of bits and pieces that's interchangeable, but I don't really want to get rid of it yet. You know, I didn't pay all that much for the Disco, but it's got an engine gearbox transfer case, and we got the mirrors off this, you know, the door mirrors. They were worth its weight in gold. So that's it. And another thing, what I've had a problem with yesterday was these things here, the A-pillar trims. What was wrong, mate? Well, you see the fastenings here. See them bits? They're not on this one. It was a different type of fastening altogether. Why? Well, it didn't have so many wires going through the roof, so if we put the flat ones on, they wouldn't fit. Now the problem I came across yesterday was, because it's got 3 of these little nodes, or whatever you call nodules, the door pillar was different on the inside. It had cutouts for this, and it was a slightly different shape. So what am I going to do? Well, if at first you don't succeed, you cheat. Now, as I've got a spare set of these on the Disco, and they're absolutely identical, I'm going to cut these down, and I'm going to use some urethane, and I'm going to bond them on. Why? Well, it's not a sort of thing you want to be in every day, but yeah, I'm just going to take that off. I'm just going to cut them down, glue them on. If it doesn't work, I've still got a spare set. It's one of the things you have to do. But in the meantime, what I'm trying to describe to you is that I've had a problem with this shift interlock to get the high and low to work, and also there's a buzzer on that I can't figure out why it's buzzing in drive first, second, third, but no buzzer in neutral. So there's something wrong with the wires. I don't know why. Mix and match, it's never a good idea. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the centre console out. I started last night, and then it got sort of near closing time for the old liquor shop, so I had to disappear sharpish, and then I couldn't be bothered. So today I'm going to show you later how we're going to find this fault. Right, this is the reason why I took the centre console out. On top of the transfer case there, you can see that round dome. That's the interlock, and the next thing to it is a switch. Now I've got to sort of have a look at those wires. You see in that there's a round plug and a sort of a squarish type plug. Those two there, right in the centre, these are the ones I need to access. First of all, I'm going to power up that solenoid using a power probe and see if we can shift this lever on its own. If it shifts, then we know that the solenoid is working. If it doesn't shift, we know the solenoid's defective. Could we take it out? Well, I suppose so. I mean, put it this way. I've never known hardly any of these diff locks to work. They've always been seized up because nobody knows how to use them. So sometimes I think things like this are futile, but I want to stop that buzzing noise. Let me get this tested. Right, handheld time again. What I've done here, you see those two green wires down at the bottom there? I've got another plug, rigged it up to a light, and that in turn goes to a battery at the other side, so we know that circuit works when the switch is on. I've also got the solenoid permanently wired up to another battery. Now when I turn this, it works, but watch. That's the neutral. But see, it doesn't, I think it was sticking. But you can see the light comes on when it's in neutral. That means that switch is good. So now we've got to look somewhere else. But before, it wasn't coming on. And I think maybe just with a bit of movement, it might be okay. I've noticed something really interesting. I think this might be the root of our problem. It's the shifter here. Because I noticed when I was sat in the car, I could move this backwards and forwards without putting my foot on the pedal. Now listen, if I put my foot on the pedal, listen. Now you can hear it moving, but this is upside down O vision. I hope you can get this. There's a pin here. See where the pointer is of the pen? Can you see the pointer? Maybe not here. Come around here a bit. See, there's a pin just in here. That's the solenoid. When I hit it, but it's jammed up, look. If I press it in, now I can shift the pedal, the lever. Sorry, it's such bad filming, but so now I can shift that. But look at this. I can go full range without it locking. If I go like that, then it locks. That pin is binding in there. Ah, that's why we're having problems. Let me take that out again, and we'll put it on the bench and we'll try and work out what's going on. Well, I found out you could take the cover off the side without taking all the cable and stuff off, because that's a bloody nightmare. So you can see here, there's the pin, there's a micro switch, and that's the socket that the pin runs in here. You know, that pin goes into that little hole just here, and you see this stops it going in, but you can see how the angle it's been going up like this. Now the micro switch runs on here, the micro switch runs on there, so let's give it a quick demonstration. So I've got the ignition on, but I've put my foot on the brake. Nothing happens to the pin until you press the micro switch. So that circuit is working. Now what was happening before is that was jammed. So that would be sending all sorts of signals wrong. And what we want to do is have a look here. And why isn't that releasing? It seems to me that it needs to go back further, just a little bit further, because that's where the pin locks in, that C shape there, and then when it's retracted, when it's pulled out, that'll allow that lever to move. That's easy enough, isn't it? There's no adjustments on there. There's no adjustments at all. Well, I'll tell you what, it's easy access anyway, so that's not too bad. Let's see if we can make it work better. Well, I'm sorry I can't film this very well because it's really awkward to see, but you can see now the pin is moving. You see that? I just took the die grinder and shaved about 1 millimetre off that housing, off the bracket. Now I was thinking about this because, was it the cable? Well, it can't be, because this is a pivot here for the lever, and the lever, its stop is in this bracket here, and then that lever is attached to that piece underneath. There's no adjustment. So even if you adjusted the cable, it wouldn't make any difference because it's attached to this bit. Anyway, let's box this up and see what it's like. So I've temporarily just rigged up the shift so we can see exactly what's going on here. So now if I put it into park with the foot off the brake, it won't move. Now, foot on the brake, now you can shift it. So there's reverse and there's neutral. But did you hear the buzzer went off? The buzzer should come on. And that is solid. So what time is it now? 1:10 I think it's time for a bite to eat. And we'll come back to this and we'll do some tests. But I'm really pleased we found out that little problem with the park. So what we need to do, it tells us here, we need to find relay K151. Where is that? Well, we do a search through the same manual and we've come up to K151 here. It's it's behind the glove box. It's the first one on the row. So what we do is we need our voltmeter. We need our voltmeter, so ground, and then we check BR. What's BR? Is that the brown and red wire to see if we've got battery voltage. We shall do that instantly. Well, this is interesting. I tested the wire here, the brown and red wire, with the ignition on, and you can see the ignition's on because the lights are on. Nobody's at home. It's not okay. There's no voltage. So here it says transmission range selector switch. Well, we'd better find where that is. So let's have a look at our plan. Over here we can see the transmission range selector switch here. This is the bit that goes on the gearbox itself. Bugger. But this is the bit we're interested in here, because power comes from fuse F12, a 10 amp fuse, comes down here, changes to a black with a white wire, black with a white tracer, and through this switch here. Then it comes out of that switch and changes to the brown and red, goes to this slot here. Where does it go to? Yeah, it goes up to there. Brown and a red. Alright. I think that's it, yeah, I'm sure it is. To the interlock relay. C1-3. C1-3, yeah, that's C1-3. Yeah, so that's C1-5. Oh, that's right, yeah, that's right. So, the thing is, it's saying it's the switch, but have we got a fuse blown? It could be something so stupid as that. Let's go and have a look. Right, here goes. Locked in park. Ignition on. Neutral. Look at that. Look at that bad boy. But it's funny how that goes off when it's in neutral. The sounder. I don't know why that is. What if I start the car up? Will it go when I start the car? Will it start? Yeah. I don't know why that sounder comes on. That's a mystery, isn't it? But that seems to be working now, so I can box all this lot back up now. It's just that sounder. Why is it making a noise? We'll have to have a look into that. I thought there was something mysterious about this relay. It's a 5-pin relay, alright? And pin 87A, when this solenoid is energized, we'll switch this off. But at its natural state, unenergized, it's on. So what I did was I swapped the wire over from 87A to 87. Let's go and see what happens now. Right, so here we are in the car again. I've got the ignition on, as you can see there. I put my foot on the brake, because if I don't put my foot on the brake we can't shift it. We put it into neutral. Now the sounder comes on when it's in neutral and off when it's in gear, so that works pretty much as it should do. One thing I found about when I swapped the wire over, you can shift it when it's in park as well, which isn't a bad thing, but at least now it sounds when it's in neutral. High range, that's it. Let's get all this lot boxed up. Right, that bit's done. But there's always a but, isn't there? I thought, well, before I put the console back in, I'll check the handbrake warning light, see if that's working. Of course, the switch was broken, but fortunately on the disco we had another switch, so that was alright. Put the switch on, nothing. It seems as if the torturous memory seat ECU comes into action again. Here we have a diagram of the system. There's the handbrake, and you can see it goes to ground. But if you follow the black and blue wire up here, where does it go to? Here, look, you see. It goes to the memory ECU. Why? Why? What makes it? Because we haven't got one of them. So now it looks like I'm going to quit this today, and then where's that going down? That's it. I'm going to quit this today because I've just had enough. My mind's exploding. But what I'll do is tomorrow I'll pull the dash out, find the bulb in the dash and run a wire straight to there, and I'll also wire it up so that the low level brake fluid will come on as well at the same time. Things you have to do, eh?